You're listening to After the Review.
After the review.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
Well, it seems like the NBA playoffs are still on for now. After a tumultuous day yesterday, all hell kind of broke loose when the Milwaukee Bucks decided they were boycotting their Game 5 playoff game versus the Magic in response to the Jacob Blake shooting. And then things kind of spiraled out of there. There was meetings all late into the night, and it did not look good for the NBA. But it seems like they slept on some things, and we're going to have a continuation of the season. I'm going to break down everything that happened, talk about who led the charge, what kind of is going on, and how much longer can we expect this to last. But if you could first like this video, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to make sure you get these daily update videos. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, so yesterday this all kind of started when the Milwaukee Bucks decided they were boycotting their game against the Magic. They didn't come out onto the court. They said, we're not playing. There was a lot of information going on back and forth between everybody. The NBA decided to cancel all the games for the night or postpone them after everybody basically said, okay, well, we're boycotting now. The Lakers and Trailblazers were boycotting, and then the Rockets and Thunder were boycotting after the Bucks did so. And then there was an all hands on deck meeting last night, and things kind of did not end well. It was all over the place, they said. The reports from inside the bubble were pretty hectic. It was hard to keep track of everything. But basically, all the players had a meeting. There was a lot of raw emotion going with everything going on in the country, going back and forth. People wanted to boycott the entire playoffs. They didn't want to move forward. Some people wanted to move forward. I know they kicked the coaches out of the meeting at a point in time, and it was just players only. There was a lot of back and forth. People were kind of upset with the Bucks for not letting everybody else know because they were all in on it, but they just wanted to know about it. So there was really a lot going on, and the meetings went well into the night. There was a preliminary vote on if they should continue the season, and the Lakers and the Clippers voted to boycott the rest of the season, and LeBron just walked out of the meeting. And then the rest of the teams followed, and that kind of sent everything into a tizzy. There was real concern that the season was over, and it just kind of was all hectic. There was board of governors meetings. They were trying to get everyone on the phone to try and figure everything out. They scheduled another meeting for this morning, and thankfully, it seems like they let the raw emotions cool down, and they kind of thought about what was going on, and they've decided to continue the season. So there's not going to be a boycott and an end to the playoffs. We're going to keep playing. We're probably going to start back up Friday or Saturday. All the games today are boycotted / postponed, however you want to call it. I think this is a smart move for the NBA. Your platform's as big as can be when you're playing. And if you're not playing, you're going to lose a lot of people on the fringes here for a distaste of this. LeBron really wanted to hold the owners' feet to the fire, and he's demanding action from the owners. And I think in a regular season, boycotting is a really good move because they stand to lose revenue, like I said, and money talks. Money is what's going to make things happen. But in the bubble, they're really not. So it's more of an optics PR thing than a physical hurt them where it matters and make the change that you want to see happen. So I think that's what they talked about going through everything. Steve Ballmer had a great tweet talking about how things need to change and talk about police reform. And he's the wealthiest owner by a lot in the NBA. He's worth like $52 billion. So that's money talking right there. I'm glad they came to a conclusion that they want to keep playing. Things were dicey, definitely dicey. People were legitimately worried. Apparently they met late into the night with LeBron and some of the other people who were very upset about everything and wanted to boycott the season. And they kind of hammered out some things. It's difficult. It's nice that they're in the bubble, that they have all the players there, that it's just not like a call or something. They can bring everybody into the room like they did, and they can have this conversation and try and hash this out. But the emotions were super raw yesterday, and I'm glad nobody made any drastic decisions in the heat of emotions, and they thought this through and came up with a game plan to move forward in the NBA. And I think they're going to have a strong game plan for return and what options they have moving forward as a unified players front in affecting change, which is great. That's what you want to see from the NBA. Sports everywhere postponed yesterday. Multiple baseball teams sat out. Teams, Dodgers, Giants, Mariners, the Brewers, and the Reds, all postponed their games, boycotted, however you want to phrase it. Like I said, they didn't play. MLS, WNBA missed some games. The NHL caught some flack because they played yesterday, and there were some vocal opinions from players talking about how they were disappointed in this. Again, it's kind of hard. People don't pay attention to the NHL. It's a majority white sport. They're kind of locked up in Canada right now in the bubble. It's not getting any media attention. But they decided to postpone the leagues today, which I think is a good move. The players were upset. Everyone needs to let this breathe a little bit and come up with a strong game plan. I know it's amazing we're still talking about this. Everything kind of started on Memorial Day with George Floyd, and we're almost at Labor Day here, and things are ramped back up again. So 2020 is a hell of a year, like I keep saying. Interesting to see what the NFL is going to do. I know a few teams canceled practice today to have meetings and talk about some things, but is it going to affect the games moving forward? I doubt it. We're 2 weeks away from kickoff. And unless something happens drastically right beforehand, I don't see any missing NFL games or anything like that. This is really interesting. LeBron has speared the charge on social justice initiatives, and he's been a vocal leader for this. And I get he was willing to risk it all yesterday and the season. Let's not lie. The Lakers have a legit shot to win the title here, and he was willing to risk it all. Says a lot about LeBron taking a leadership role. I don't know. You mean criticize him all you want for certain things on and off the court, but if he's willing to put his money where his mouth is, I'm all for it. LeBron's worth almost $1 billion. He has some money to affect some real change. Let's see what he can do. I think a unified players front is strong. I'm not sure they were ready to cancel everything yesterday, and that's what kind of upset some people in the league amongst players. They weren't ready for this boycott. They want to be a unified front. And it kind of caught everybody off guard, and that kind of spurred the emotions into this raw frenzy. Not to mention, they've been locked in a bubble for 4 months without their family or friends, and everyone's already on edge. Paul George was talking about how the bubble was getting to him with anxiety and depression. So it's just a perfect storm of awful conditions going on and setting people off with an event that's like a tinder, sets the whole thing ablaze. It's very good that I think they're moving forward. Like I said, they've been doing a good job. They can talk every day. They can make demands every day. I know the ratings are down, but hold their feet to the fire. Make every network talk about it every day. Because if you boycott the season, honestly, we're on to football. Networks aren't going to talk about them not playing basketball. They're going to just talk about football. And isn't the whole point to affect change is to get people talking and get people spending money to make change happen? And if you're not talking about it, you can't get anything done. That's 100% factual. So good for them that they come to this decision. I hope they have a strong plan to get the owners involved. Like I said, money talks. Money's going to make everything happen. And it'll be interesting to see when they restart. They're going to have 2 player representatives for each team today. And then they're going to vote on when they're going to restart either Friday or Saturday. Get this thing back going. But I'm going to keep the tabs on this, keep updating you if things change. But if you like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all tomorrow.